Hey, it's Eli, hey Atlas, and today's video is for all my starving artists who don't want to starve anymore. You ready to eat? Nah, you've been ready, alright? So here's the deal. This is going to be a checklist of sorts, quick tips for you guys and girls who are trying to make a little coin off your art. Now, some of this is going to seem super obvious, but for some of you newer guys, you're going to find it pretty helpful. So what this is basically going to be is a list of sites that I've personally used or use to generate a little income. For the sake of brevity, I'll basically skim over these and throw out some names and some explanations of why I use them and why they work. Number 1, DeviantArt. Good old DA, where it all started for me, but honestly the only reason that I'm recommending DeviantArt these days is more or less out of respect. When I got my start about 10 years ago, the site was hot. If you were looking for work, you could definitely find it because they had, and still have, a very active forum with sections for both artists and commissioners. The only issue, at least for me, as my prices went up, is that actual work propositions can be sparse. And again, especially once you're pining for higher price ranges, the DeviantArt set are more or less in the market for $80 and below, in my experience anyway. Now keep in mind there are of course exceptions and big spenders, but I wouldn't count on it. Still, this is a great place to get your start and hone your marketing skills and get your feet wet if you're just starting out. Number 2. Reddit. If DA is for beginners, Reddit is definitely for intermediate beginners. It's very competitive, but you're guaranteed work if you've got good products and you can pitch right. This site is kind of special for me because it's actually the most recent one that I've joined for work among this list for about 2 years or so now. The difficulty in Reddit comes in that these guys are very strict with their rules. I recommend absolutely finding the subsection that best fits your art and staying there. Otherwise, you're most likely to get banned from that sub, which you may end up needing in the future. So, my recommendations are the comic book collabs and hungry artist subs as a jumping off point. Number 3. Zwall.com. Zwall is a special and interesting site. It's pretty much a comic book themed site, so if your art doesn't revolve around that, you might feel a little out of place. I joined that site back in 2016 at the recommendation of my friend Drew, and I think my thread advertising my work is the most viewed and replied to post in the whole forum with 54,000 views, 54,000 plus views. As long as you regularly update it and again have good product, you'll never have a shortage of clients to bring from there. Guys, I've gotten so much work from here. I highly recommend it. Before Twitter. The bird is a tough one if you don't know how or can't quickly build a fan base. Since everything on Twitter is user fueled, if you can't get enough buzz about your art in the first place, then you're going to be in a drought for a while. This is why I'd place Twitter in the hard intermediate category. But assuming you've brought your Deviant fans with you, you should be able to get your for-hire ads in circulation enough to get some DMs requesting your services. To give it some perspective, I've put out 2 or 3 ads for commissions during my 2 or so years on Twitter, and usually get about 5 or 10 or so inquiries within the same week of posting the ad. I can imagine that would double or triple if your fan base is really booming. Instagram. It's a great site, right? It should be great for everything. I mean, everybody's there, right? Everybody's there, right? I'll definitely class this one as purely difficult. Instagram has absolutely no way to interact with your audience outside replying in the comments. There's no forum, no groups, no ads, and nowhere to really spread the word about your services. That said, I've gotten a couple of inquiries from here before, though only a couple have panned out for some reason. Lastly, Patreon. I really can't comment on this one, but I'm including it because I know it's very popular and a lot of people have had amazing success on there. I made a Patreon a few years ago and it never went anywhere, unfortunately, but I'll chalk it up to the game. I joined way before I was any good at marketing and had a less interactive viewership than I do now. If I rejoined Patreon, things might go a little differently now. But don't shy away from it because of me. To put it into perspective, Sakimi-chan, possibly Patreon's most successful artist, from DeviantArt originally by the way, has over 6,000 patrons who subscribe to her rewards tiers from $3 up to $150. She's basically a corporation at this point. Keep in mind the entire site works on a tier reward system, so you'll have to bring something worth buying to the table for the low and the high. So it's a lot of work, but who knows, you might become the next Sakimi. Honorable mention goes to Redbubble. Some people use TeePublic, which I might use in the future, or Society6, but this kind of includes all of those. Merchandising sites, basically. Guys, that is definitely top tier difficulty level. Making something someone wants to wear on their whole body. From head, you can make hats on Redbubble, I think. Shirts, obviously, you can do pants, the works, alright? So, now it probably isn't as hard as it sounded since a lot of people actually do it, but you're going to have to be a great designer first and foremost, and again, a great marketer. I've got a couple of pieces over there, but I seriously need to update my gear since I have a bunch of new ideas for designs, you know? But the other guys have been keeping me plenty employed. Still, the idea of this is most exciting to me since it's automatic revenue if you can get it going, which is something I think we could all use. That wraps it up for this video. If you liked the video, make sure you tune in this Friday for a new episode of For Future Reference, and next Monday for either a new tutorial or a speed art. If you guys want to check me out on any of the sites that I mentioned above, and maybe buy a printer too, the links will be in the corner right over here and in the video description below. And guys, the reason I made this video descends from the reason I actually joined Reddit, outside of being recommended to me twice. I heard some great advice from one of my favorite YouTube personalities who basically said, if you want things to change your circle of influence, alright? So that's basically what I did. I was basically stuck around DeviantArt and in the drought, the aforementioned drought, never really exploring my other options because I didn't know what they were. So I educated myself and did a little work and got things off the ground, and most importantly, I took my work elsewhere where the money was. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know your thoughts below on this topic. If you guys find other ways to make a lot of revenue off of your art, I definitely want to hear from you and get a discussion going. Leave your thoughts in the comments, alright? I'll get back to everyone all the time, every site I'm on, you guys know this, alright? So, make sure you subscribe and click the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you can get notifications when I'm back with more vlogs or more speed art, lessons, tutorials, and the works. And one more thing before I forget to say it, make sure you don't leave any comments talking about why didn't you talk about Jazz, or why didn't you talk about, some other site, alright? I'm just talking about the sites that work for me personally. So right now I'm at Twitter, Facebook, DeviantArt, all that stuff. Again, the links will be right over on this site actually. So I'm just talking about the sites that I've had experience with and the sites that work for me. I would always love to know if there are any other sites that I can also use to make more revenue. But this is just a good jumping off point for you guys. Alright, thank you for watching. Later.
Sana, submit mo sa miya. And dito sa sana.